Hi, my name is Jamal Cannon, owner and founder of Physical Enterprises. What I want to talk to you guys about today is our Marketing Partner Program. The Marketing Partner Program is an extension of our Customer Rewards Program, but what this does is it gives you an opportunity to earn rewards at a rapid pace, and to earn them at an unlimited pace, and to basically, make your dreams come true. It's a great program. Basically, what you can do is it doesn't take much to join the program, because it's not you're not working for us. You're not working for us, nor are you a contractor for us. You're just a member of a community, a private community that you have to test in to be required. There is requirements, but we go by community standard. This program is sponsored by the legendary Black Panther Party and also Black Empire Assembly, which is a group of black business owners, black activists, whatever it may be, that are dedicated to the growth and empowerment economically of the black businesses and of the black economics. So it's a little bit deeper than just a regular business situation or program. It is a community-based program. In the program, although you are rewarded based on people you refer, you're also rewarded based on your participation in the community. You're also rewarded based on your conduct in the community and conduct in the program. This is, like I said before, if you join this program, you need to work for us. You're not an employee, nor are you a contractor for us. You're just simply a customer that's referring people, and you're getting rewarded at a rapid pace and much better than ever. And what that does for you, it allows you to achieve things, to give out things, gift cards, cash, even a car, at times, all types of things. So it's a great program, and you get a lot of because it's sponsored, and because it's sponsored by various different organizations, including our own Physical Enterprises, the main far as from a business aspect. You get a lot of benefits that you would normally get in this industry. Just to give you guys a little bit of background, I myself been in the industry, because the services we're talking about in this program that you're going to be referring are for TV, internet, home phone, and home alarm. There's other products that you get into as you get deeper. Those are the initial products that you deal with in the program. It's TV, internet, home phone, home alarm. Mainly TV, internet, home phone. Because a lot of people don't have, may not meet the requirements for a home alarm. You have to be a homeowner. But we do offer it. We offer a lot of things. Great thing about this program is that, like I said, it doesn't take much. You only need to provide your full legal name, an email address. You need to have an active phone number, active mobile phone number, your email address. Provide your full legal name, and you need a Facebook account, because you do a lot of communication, a lot of bonuses via Facebook. So if you don't have a Facebook account, they're free to make. You can just simply make one. Same with the email, you can just simply make one and participate in the program. We do have a screening process, but it's not like a screening because you're not applying for a job. It's just to test your knowledge, to see if you understand what's going on, for you to be certified to be in the program. Like I said, I'm going to give you guys a little bit of background history about myself and the company. Like I said, I myself been in the industry for over 16 years, about 16 years now, 16 years. This company has been around for about 10 years. It was Cannon Marketing, and I changed the name to Physical Enterprises. And there's a whole story about that. We'll get into that later, but right now we're going to talk about the program. About 4 years ago, it became Physical Enterprise. The company's been around about 10 years. Another reason for this program is because going through society, going through life, you kind of see how things work and how things don't work. I saw basically in this industry that a lot of things that that worked or were status quo just didn't really work from my experience in the industry. I myself started in this industry, like I said, about 16 years ago. I was a very young man. At that time, I was previously coming off of, I had lost a job. I had lost a good job. I had a job working at Harley Davidson. I was an intern there from high school. Later on in my first year of college, Left for a little bit, but came back and was full time. Was the youngest ever full time employee hired at the company. Aced had the highest scores ever, entrance scores ever entering the company. Being that a young black man at that time from the ghetto, that created a lot of jealousy. You know, these are people that worked there. They had kids that couldn't get into there, and family members that was on the wait list, or they themselves took them years to get in there and had to struggle. And I came right in, poor kid out the ghetto, boom, was in the program making the money that how they was making. And, you know, they didn't like that. To make a long story short, it wasn't popular amongst the Caucasians there. And though I stayed there for a little while, you know, things happened, and I eventually just, you know, threw my hands up with the situation. I got let go, but I got actually offered to come back. I didn't want to come back. It was that much racial tension. I actually turned down the opportunity to come back. That's how I felt. It was at that point where it was threats, it was this, it was that. It was just a little too much, and I was a very young man. And I was still dealing with some things myself, to be honest with you. I was still selling drugs. When you born in the hood, that's what you do. And you want extra money. I mean, it happens to all of us. We don't know better when we're younger. But, you know, that's what you do. I ended up going back to that, not having that job. I was in college. I was playing ball. I transferred from University of Wisconsin lacrosse, playing football. And was transferred to Tennessee State, but I really didn't feel like doing that anymore. I would need to make some money. I had a kid on the way. My oldest son was ready to be on the way, so it's I was kind of out here trying to make money. Although being that what I had to deal with, I had an awakening situation. I was, for those that live in Milwaukee area, in my hometown. Shout out to the mill. This is years ago. I was driving down the intersection of Titonia and Hampton. I got into it with some people over there. My oldest son, mother, she lived in that area, and I was into it with some guys over there. It was jealousy, whatever it may be, whatever. But it just brought to the point where, you know, we got into a shootout. Keep it real. We got into a shootout. Don't even go into details. You guys see that I'm here. So I'm driving down the street, and I'm like sweaty, my heart beating fast. I'm looking around like, wow. And a voice spoke out to me. It was like, hey, if you would have died, you know, you would have went to. And I'm like, what the heck? And I'm looking around. I'm like, nobody in the car. I stopped the car and get out. Somebody talking to me. Somebody got a bullhorn. I heard, and a voice said it again. And my heart just jumped. I'm like, oh my God. I'm like, what? I'm like, I just froze up. I was just like, I couldn't believe it. I was spooked. You know, I'm young. I'm young, very young at this time. You know, this is late 90s, early 2000s. I'm very young. So, like, I decided that, you know what, I can't sell drugs no more. This is getting a little too crazy. I never want to be Nino Brown, big time. You know, I just simply trying to make some money, and it just got out of hand. I was always low key. I wasn't ever trying to be known and be out there, but when you in that life, life is gonna find you, whether you wanted it to or not. Attention is gonna find you eventually. The wrong type of attention. So I was trying to look for jobs. I was applying. This is back in the day. It wasn't really no internet presence like that. I mean, you know, we offer like 100 meg internet right now. This is like, if you had 3 megs of internet, you was the man. That was like super high speed. When you couldn't even game on the internet. Nothing back then. The internet wasn't really popping how it is right now. So, you know, you had to physically go and apply for jobs. A lot of jobs didn't even have applications on the internet at this time. So looking for a job was a job. I would wake up in the morning, go apply here, go apply there, try to interview, do that, and I wasn't getting anywhere. I had a little criminal situation I was dealing with at the time. I got dealt with properly, but at this time I was still dealing with that. I had a situation where I was in lacrosse playing football. Some gentlemen, I ain't gonna say gentlemen, they was cowards. They uttered some racial slurs. I got out. You know, I knocked one guy out. Other guy stepped up, knocked him out. And you know, it was a melee, and it was big thing out there. They came in, got me out of practice, and you know, cuffed me and everything for questioning and everything. I was dealing with that situation, and I had another legal situation from that same situation, basically trying to say I was fleeing from the police. But anyway, I had that situation I was dealing with, and that was kind of one of the hurdles I was going through, was having that legal situation popping up when I'm applying for jobs, or this and that nature. Because I remember when I was at Hurley, I was already in through the co-op program, and this situation happened after that or during that situation. So this is my first time really back out in the job market. And I really wasn't never, trying to work jobs anyway because I was still I was still hustling while I was with Harley. I mean, it's just, you gotta understand, it was in my bloodline. That's what I grew up knowing. And even though I knew I didn't have to, but I didn't know I didn't have to. There's not enough education. There's programs for drug users, but not really for drug dealers like that. We try to address that on every aspect, not just the users, but the dealers. But anyway, so I'm going through that situation. I'm dealing with trying to apply for these jobs. I'm not getting any luck anywhere. I'm not even getting any hardly calls, and I'm getting frustrated. But I'm like, man, I can't go back to selling drugs. Things is happening. Spots is getting raided. I got family members going to jail. It's just getting kind of crazy. It's like the atmosphere at that time was so much pressure. It was like I couldn't go back if I wanted to go back. I was starting to get pressured in. So I finally got a call back. I answered as an ad in the paper about satellite TV sales and installations. And I mean, I set up a cable TV sales installations. I called a couple of ads that had the similar ad, and one of them called me back, and I was like, oh my God, I got a call. I didn't know what it was about. They just said, come in. I was just so happy to get a call, and I went down. Now, previously, before I went down, I mean, I was at the lowest of the low. Like, a lot of y'all worked at McDonald's before, and those when I worked at McDonald's. If you know, at McDonald's, the maintenance man ain't really like high on the totem pole. Well, I applied, a so-called brother who owned the McDonald's, who offered me, he said, listen, brother, he knew me. He said, you got football, you got your starter, you got your backup now. We got our starter, we got our maintenance man, but you can be his backup. We'll call you when we need you. And listen, I'm like, at this time, I'm like, look, man, I'm just trying to get a job. I'm going to apply. So I applied, and he gave me like a, good consider. Like, he made it like it was a short thing. I was going to get the backup job, and I didn't even get that. I didn't get nothing. So when I got this call, I'm about to say, I'm like, man, I didn't care what it was about. I just went down. I had applied for probably 500 jobs, probably more than that by that time. So I was just happy to hear that, and I didn't want to keep having to serve. So I went to the interview. It was a gentleman named Eamon Fields. He actually brought me into the industry. Still close to him to this day. Good dude. He had interviewed me. During the interview process, I just said, listen, man. I just broke down. I said, listen, man, I'm struggling. I'm trying to stop doing it. I just told him the truth. I said, I just need a shot. He said, I just need a shot, man. I can't get a job. This is the first interview I done had, all these applications I put in. And he said, look, man, you hungry? I'm going to go ahead and give you a shot. It's like, I'm going to go ahead and give you a shot. I was like, okay. I was like, cool. And I didn't know what it was about. Nothing. I was just like, okay. He said, come back tomorrow. We're going to be training. I'm thinking like, man, I mean, monkey's off my back. But I didn't know anything about, I didn't even care to ask the details or nothing. I'm just happy to have a job. I didn't even know what they did at this time. I just showed back up. So I come to the training. It's like a sales training, and they started showing you about the installations, and that was pretty submitted. Like the sales training, I'm like, they talking about straight commission and these tactics and techniques, and it seemed kind of corny. I sold drugs and hustled, but I didn't really know. I'm like, man, I don't know about this, but I'm thinking like, I don't really got no choice. Man, like I got much of a choice, so I'm gonna just stick through it. I was in there with a brother, an older white guy. He left. He wasn't with it. He thought it was bullshit and quit. And then the other guy, the other black guy, he was a younger guy like myself, a little bit older than me, maybe, but a younger like myself. He was geeked. He was excited. He was like, I was like the in between. Like the other dude wasn't with it all. He quit. He was super with it. He was like, man, we gonna make this money. We gonna do it. I'm like, okay, man, how? I don't know how we gonna do it, man. This is new to me. He was like, yeah, man, we should all eat this. He was extra enthusiastic about it. And funny thing about it, that guy only lasted, and he didn't even last a week, but that's how it be. Anyway, so we go out, we come back out to do a field training. Eamon takes us out. And we are, like I said, the industry we deal with in this program is TV, internet, and phone, so that's where I got my start at. And Home Alarm as well. So we go out to in Milwaukee. It's around 53rd and Hampton. Now, to this day, we joke about this block. It was what's called in sales a laydown block. I mean, it was easy deals, but I didn't know that back then. I didn't know what it was. I ain't never been out, period. So we go to this block. I'm like, okay, we finna go out and knock doors. I'm like real, like skeptical. I don't know what's going on. Like, we finna knock some doors, and I'm like, all right, whatever. You know, I'm like thinking like at this time, you gotta understand, I'm still not that far removed from the criminal world. So I'm like, what if I see this? What if I got this? And what if I'm thinking like that on that type of level. So we go on that block. We get out the car. I'm like real skeptical. I'm starting to think like, man, I'm gonna have to go. I can't. I don't know if I can do this. So, but he knocks on the first door, gives the pitch. You know, hey, my name's Eamon. You know, we're doing a service check in the area. I need your ID. Boom. Lady signs up. Now, this back in the day. It wasn't really no phone. We wasn't offering phone service. Internet was kind of new. We offered it, but it was kind of new. A lot of people didn't know about it. It was, I mean, not the internet was new, but high speed internet was kind of new. So-called high speed. Now, back then, high speed was like a meg. You know, it was high speed at 1 meg. But it was kind of new. But it was mainly still straight cable internet. It was a simpler time. It wasn't like the lengthy process like it is now. Wasn't no extensive credit check, nothing crazy like that. Just a little, you know, you show your ID. And really, you didn't need that, but we did that. It was kind of simple. But, you know, to me, it's new. I don't know what's going on. So he gives the pitch, you know, boom, boom, boom. Boom, she signs up. So I'm like, that's one person. Next door, nobody's home. Then the next person upstairs, they answer. Then I answer, the next door, boom. So they sign up. The next door, boom. They sign up. Next thing you know, 45 minutes go by. He wrote up, Eamon, he wrote up 8, 9, 10 people. And then I'm looking at the clock. I'm like, it ain't even been an hour. So I'm just interested. We stopped. I said, man, about how much money is that make if we do that? He like, you know, it's not, you know, it's a little something. I'm going to split it with you guys because, you know, you guys out here training with me, you know, but, you know, about like $500, you know. So I'm like, what the fuck? I'm like, 500. I'm like, I'm like, in less than, I went from a skeptic to a believer. I said, listen, man, get me a badge. So whatever I need to do, I'm out here. I'm going to be the cable guy. And that's kind of how I got started. I got a badge the next day. I was knocking every door in the city of Milwaukee, Racine. Even when it was like dark, I would go to businesses. I was laundromats. I was doing whatever. I was out there because it was my new hustle. Keep in mind, I only was able to really sell drugs. I didn't have a job, couldn't get a job, and it was like desperation. I had a kid on the way. I didn't know if I was gonna go to jail or not. I had a legal situation, and I had a pending legal situation. So it was on and popping. It was desperation time, and I was out here every day grinding hard, making money. I started making good money in the industry, and you know, I just transitioned from the drug world. So I'm making this money. I'm not understanding that this is this is legit money now. This is not. You know, you got to pay taxes out of it. You got to, you know, there's legalities to when you sell people. There's what's called chargebacks. We'll get into a little bit later, but I'm not understanding that. So now at the age before I was even old enough to drink, around that time, you know, before the age or around the age of 21, I made 130 grand that year. Now, a lot of y'all watching this like, damn, 130 grand. If I made that now, and that was great. But check this out. Here's the problem. I made 130 grand, but I spent about 250 grand. Do the math on that. So I made 130 grand, but I didn't have the education. That's what the great thing about this program is. What's a community program? We give you education. I didn't have the education on how to deal with taxes, how to deal with chargebacks. A chargeback is when you make a sale, or when a rep makes a sale, and that customer doesn't keep it for an agreed. Usually it's 90 days, sometimes 120 days, some cases 6 months. The customer has to keep that service for that time. If they don't, they charge the company back. And if you work for a company, the company will charge you back as a rep. So you would end up having to pay back that sale. You have to pay back that sale. I didn't understand how that worked. I wasn't explained that. I just was kind of thrown in there. I was just out hustling, just trying to make money. So I'm out here spending money, getting approved, buying cars I really can't afford. Just young, thinking that I'm always, because, you know, I just came from the dope man lifestyle. So I'm spending like a dope man, still not understanding that this is the real world now. So I'm number one. I'm making all this money. with this company. I'm like the number one. I shot up to be the not just the number one in that company, but the number one sales rep, brother, contractor, and house in the state of Wisconsin, and one of the top ones in the nation at this time. Just off of grinding and hustling. It was like a Tupac situation where like I had the number one album, but I wasn't making any money. I had debt I had to pay. I had so much debt, and I was also not getting the full amount of I didn't understand the compensation. And this could be a very shady industry. A lot of contracting groups in this industry, they crooked. That's what it is. It's not, there's a lot of shady characters that do this. And that's why we out here too, to help protect people against those shady characters. But that company I was with, Broadband Solutions at that time, it was a disagreement between him and the top manager. I had made myself to team leader, assistant manager for the whole office. It was a disagreement of money. He wanted to take more money, and we like, no, he was saying, it's not that much more to take. I'm under this, doing good, just doing what I do, trying to make the money back. He decides that he wants to let go of the company, the owner. I'm like a free agent, so at this time it's Time Warner Cable. They're trying to get me to come work in-house. All the contracting groups are bidding for me. I went to talk with this group called B Cable. It was ran by a guy named Bill Carls. I go there, I talk with the manager, Richard Orr. He's now, rest in peace to him, he's now deceased, but Richard Orr is talking with me. I'm like, I'm young. I'm thinking this time I've been in the industry by this time I've been in the industry for a little while now. And I'm thinking I'm some type of hot shot. I'm like, I made 130 grand. Well, they start laughing. I said, what y'all laughing at? They said, 130 grand. We seen your numbers. You only made 130 grand. I'm like, what do you mean only made? I made 130 grand, man. They started laughing like, you would have worked for us. You'd have made about 200. You'd have made like 230 grand, 250 grand. I'm like, well, they start showing me what they pay. And they're doing the math, and I'm like, what the heck? And I said, and I was a manager. So you were a manager? Oh my God, you would have made more. So basically, I had made 130 grand because I didn't understand the economics. But this company, basically, I should have made about 280 grand. So I made less than half of what I should have made once I got with them. So I learned that and was just shocked by that. And I started learning a little bit more about chargebacks, how to deal with that, and starting like that in taxes. I'm kind of getting my act together a little bit, and I'm making money back again. Working with this company, made it back up to working hard, making money. But we running these companies, and this is a situation, and we address this too because we help people get service who can't get service. What y'all don't understand is a lot of these cable companies do what's called like redlining. They basically discriminate based on like credit, zip codes, addresses, to basically discriminate. They give a better deal to the actual rich people and give bad deals to the poor people. They do that not behind closed door, but they send reps to certain areas with better deals than what you get on TV, this and that. They basically discriminate and then make it harder to get services at certain addresses, which it is what it is. But basically, they had told us we couldn't work Milwaukee, and I was worried. So at all, or race. I'm like, wow, that's who I sell. Those my people. Like, we're supposed to work. So I didn't know how to deal with that. It was a curveball. I ran into a brother. He's actually corporate head of our company, now Physical Enterprise, one of the co-founders as well. Amin Allen, and Amin basically sold me. He was an older black guy, older than me. And I ran into, he's the first black guy I really met in the industry, like that was doing it seriously, that was sticking. All the ones I met, they wasn't at that time serious, or they wasn't sticking. He had just pulled me to the side and said, hey, listen, man, you're a great hustler. You know how to hustle, but you don't know how to sell. I'm like, I'm thinking like, man, I've been doing, what do you mean? You don't know how to sell? I'm like, what do you mean I don't know? And I started listening to him. I said, okay, I'm a rock with. So he started showing me how to sell. So all that grind I was doing, basically what he showed me, how to work smarter, not harder. But I was doing it 12 hours before, 8 hours I heard grinding. He showed me how to get those same numbers in 3 or 4 hours, sometimes 2 hours. So they had basically showed me how to sell versus just grind and hustle. Oh, you want to get it, boom, boom, boom. That's just that's it's called law of averages. You talk to X amount of people. Some people gonna sign up whether you're doing it right or not. But we'll take you to the next levels. Know how to turn those no's into yeses. Know how to overcome objections. Knowing certain sales techniques. And he helped start and teach me those. I learned more and more as I went on, got into the industries. But that was kind of my first start as far as actually selling versus hustling. And I was learning and did great, and got to a point. So I'm moving up, learning about how it worked. Overcame that obstacle of the redlining situation. Move up in that company to the point where I'm making money now. I'm young. I'm comfortable. I get this bright idea that, hey, maybe I need to do my own thing. I don't need them. Not understanding how the industry works, being young and learning. So I called Bill, who the owner. I said, look, man, I'm gonna get my own company. No offense. He started trying to explain to me, hey, listen, man, it's not an owner-friendly business, which is not. You in a good position. You're a manager. You're making money. You ain't got the liabilities. But I'm young. I'm not hearing. I'm just thinking like, man, you trying to hate. Let me be the boss. I'm finna do my own boss, do my own thing, do my thing. So I go in with another gentleman and form my own company. This is not this company, but this is the previous another incarnation that did not work. This company worked out, but this company did not work out. So I formed a company doing the same thing. The industry I'm talking about, I came into is the door-to-door industry. I got my start in door-to-door, which is probably the toughest way to do it. We do over the phone. We do the what you guys be doing, like referral marketing or internet. You can do that, but I started door to door, actually going to doors. So at this time, I get my own group, and I didn't understand like the chargebacks on that level, or the liabilities, the insurances, how to budget the money, how to not overpay, how to not underpay. And I had a partner who was kind of